Whoever sees this video, please share it. I want to come at this from a different angle to try and, appeal to a greater audience in terms of trying to create an awareness. Lots of people, get online, and the moment they see something that, goes off the mainstream narrative, the first thing they do is criticize. And I wanted to give you a little bit of, so this video is for, when this is shared, for people that are still on the fence, or people that are having a hard time believing what's going on, but they still have faith that, everything's above board. If you get to a stage that you start looking at this off the narrative, basically what happens is we go through a process where we tried to believe what we were told from the mainstream sources, and we tried to make sense of what the mainstream sources were telling us, and we didn't. It didn't make sense. It didn't matter how much we tried to have it be factual in our eyes, through the eyes of common sense. It just didn't. So we look off the mainstream narrative. That's the only reason we looked off the mainstream narrative. And this is my question, right? This goes out to people that are still on the fence. Why don't you at least go look off the narrative? If it doesn't make sense, why do you continue to follow it and listen to every directive? You see, people attack people like myself and like-minded people, but we did our best to try and make sense of the bullshit we were being told, and it didn't matter what we did. We just couldn't find any sense in what was being said. Nothing lined up, and there was no correlation between what they were telling us to do and what we were seeing and what we were experiencing. So the key to my message today is stop being so trusting. I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm not telling you to listen to me. I'm not telling you to trust other people who look off the narrative. I'm telling you to go and look at it yourself. Because there is so many people out there, I don't care what your position is and where your stand is and what's going on right now, you don't believe the lie. And the only thing that's stopping you from stepping off and looking into the lie is the fear. You're afraid of your whole world coming down because of the fact that you need to believe you can trust your government. You need to believe you can trust your media. You need to believe, you can trust the experts that are advising you on health at the moment. But here's a couple of basic questions, right? If it's been scientifically proven and medically proven that masks have no noticeable benefit, unless they're a certain type of mask, and even then the filter's not fine enough to catch whatever it's meant to stop, why is it being advised as a medical opinion? Why are they just telling you any cloth on your face will do? Well, no, it should be an expert opinion. It's a medical opinion. And if a cloth isn't doing anything, why are they telling you to wear it? Look at the death rate. Just have a look at the death rate. The death rate's below 1%. When they originally brought this virus out and they were creating all of these measures, it was because this virus was believed to have a 4% mortality rate. They said it. They said a 4% mortality rate. It's not. It's proven. Our statistics say it, and the world statistics say it. When these measures were first created, they said that this virus was highly contagious. Yet within a population of 25 million, up until week 22 or 23, you've only got 21 to 22,000 infections. And that is after you spent millions of dollars on taxpayers' money to test 4.6% of the population because you believe people without symptoms were spreading it. So you've got a virus that's got a 4% mortality. You've got a virus that's got less than a 1% mortality rate. You've got a virus that's got less than a 4% positivity rate out of 4.6 million tests. You've got a virus that was said to have a 4% a 4% mortality rate when it first came out, and it's not. You have to look away from the narrative because they're still feeding the same story to you and they're still making you act like this thing had a 4% mortality rate. Though the figures have shown, and though all of their statistics have shown, it's nowhere near that. So you've got to look off the mainstream. You've got no choice in the matter, right? You can't just go along with it because you're motivated by fear. Because you're afraid of the truth if it is what we say it is off the mainstream, right? But think about what's associated with what fear we have because we know such information. That means the vaccine that they'd like to stick you and your family with for a virus that's been lucky to be around for, 9 months worldwide, right? That means what's it for? If this thing could easily be cured with an anti-malaria drug, just so happens that Clive Palmer bought God knows how much, 32 million cases of it or whatever he'd purchased, right? In order to be able to, because he believed it was able to do something with the virus. All of a sudden, a drug that's been around in the country for 50 years gets black banned. You can't prescribe it. Really? Something that's at the same level with aspirin, doctors have said. I'm asking you to look off the narrative. I'm asking you not to trust me. I'm just asking you, don't just trust what you're being told if it doesn't make any possible sense whatsoever. Please, guys, I'm asking everybody who sees this, please share this video, right? I'm not swearing. I'm not being, I don't have anger or anything like that towards people, right? I'm just asking that we're able to spread a message of common sense. This thing's not what they told you it was. It's not spreading like they told you it was going to spread. It's not as deadly as they told you it was going to be. Right? Yet, your business that you probably took 3 generations to create is gone. It's going to be gone in a blink of an eye. Are you honestly going to allow them to just make that decision for you? To put you in harm's way? Because if what I'm saying is true, the microchips and the biometric passports and all these COVID passes and everything else, they're for one reason. Population control, control of people. That's all it's for. The reason they want to get rid of money, right this second, in this time frame, is once again, to control people. The reason they want people to stand 1.5 meters away from each other, that's not for a virus. That's so artificial intelligence can pick up your every move, where you go, and identify you by your face. The reason they want to stick your family with a vaccine, it's not because they're trying to treat a virus. It's because they're trying to make people sick with a vaccine. The reason they're locking you in your homes at the moment and you can't even leave and go outside, the reason you can't even go 5 kilometers from your house, or the reason, God forbid, they'd want to go into stage 5, which over my dead body, right? That you have to wear a mask inside and you can't even leave your home. I'm sorry to tell you, but you have been fooled beyond belief, and this has nothing to do with the virus. So it's time you look away from the mainstream. It's time you spend some time actually looking into proper information, right? It's time to stop being lazy and just believe that, if you just keep quiet, the government's going to look after you, because we know what happened in Nazi Germany when they did that, right? And it's time to take back your freedom. It's time to start living as free people. Embrace the freedom. A government only has power when the people adhere to the words of the government. The government is nothing without its people. Right? Anyway, please share this. Hopefully this gets out to people. And I'm begging, please share this, because we really need to take our attention away from the lies, away from the bullshit, away from the propaganda, away from the constant dribble that comes out of Dan Andrews and all of these esteemed premiers' mouths, right? Because your reporters, they don't even ask real questions. Have you seen one reporter get up and say, Mr. Andrews, when this virus came out, it's believed to have a 4% mortality rate. Why are you still treating the Australian people in Victoria with precautions of a 4% mortality rate when this virus has been found to have a 0.5% mortality rate? No, they're not going to ask true questions. Why are you treating a virus that's got a 0.4% positivity rate as it was believed to have been believed in the beginning with the level of how contagious it would be? You see, the media aren't asking real questions. And the one time the media did ask real questions, which was to Dan Andrews, why parking inspectors were allowed to create revenue for the government. Meanwhile, while we're all locked in our homes and people can't open a bakery, but a guy can walk around and put fines on cars because you need to still create revenue for the government at that stage. That's fine. The first time they asked him the first serious question, Dan Andrews looked up at that female that did that question with the look of death in his eyes, like he wanted to murder her, because he actually got asked a real probing question. So your media are in the back pocket. The media are only asking questions that they want people to ask them, right? They're getting paid to ask those questions. All of your people in government, they are all bought and paid for. They are corrupt as you could possibly believe. The health officials that are reporting this for you guys, the so-called experts, right? They're all lying through their teeth. All of them. At the moment, New Zealand is going through measures where they are having mandatory testing. They're going to have martial law. They're going to be quarantining people and taking them out of their homes for a virus that's lucky to have a 0.5% death rate and a 99% recovery rate, according to the statistics worldwide. They want to take people out of their homes and quarantine them. Why would you want to quarantine someone out of their home? If you're in your home and your family members are in your home, wouldn't common sense just say, no one leave the house, you guys stay here, and you guys remain in quarantine? Why would you take one family member out of a home? That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't everyone have been subjected to the virus itself? Why would you do that? Because it's not about a virus. It is about having the ability to enter people's homes without a warrant. It is about having the ability to go and snatch people out of homes. And it's about having the ability to stop people trying to intervene with people being taken out of homes. So what's it going to take, Australia? What's it going to take for you to finally, let the penny to drop that this isn't about a virus? Do you need to have your mum or dad taken out of the house? Do you need a copper punch in the face or hit with a baton when you try and stop a copper from taking someone out of your house, or a Department of Health employee coming in and taking a family member away? Is that what you need to happen for you to finally have reality hit that this has nothing to do with what you think it does? Do you have to go to stage 5 and be sitting in your homes in a mask in your home and not be able to leave your house whatsoever for you to click that this has nothing to do with a virus? Do they have to get rid of cash? And the moment you speak up about it, the moment you finally click and you decide to say something, they just switch off everything. And because there's no cash, you can't actually buy or sell anything, even if you tried to sell things, right? Because everything's digital. Everything's controlled by artificial intelligence and a computer. They want to switch you off, All they need to do is press one button and you're done. You can't buy anything. You can't sell anything. You are done. The only way you're going to be able to survive is if you barter. People say that, you know, I'm selfish, I'm self-centered and all this other stuff, right? This is what I say to that. I am not going to stop exposing myself in front of the camera, mate, until I can get through enough people that we can create such a voice, such a movement that no one could drown it out. Right? Because the time has come for you to choose whether you are going to believe the words of the few versus the words of the many. Because the words of the many are telling you something's wrong. The words of the many are saying, I don't trust what's going on at the moment. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, you know, oh, you're just a conspiracy. I'm sorry, mate, this isn't a conspiracy anymore. 20,000 people, 10,000 people refuse to take a COVID test. That is not a conspiracy. That is people awoken to the lie and the deceit and the bullshit. Yeah? The fact the media needs to turn around and start creating reports that conspiracy theories are leading to deaths around the world, which is the most ridiculous body of text I've ever read in my life, which I saw yesterday, is a clear indication that they are trying to ensure that they maintain whatever lie they have at all costs. Now, you're really concerned about the safety of your family. If they aren't really treating people for COVID in hospital, and your family members are dying in there, they're dying from medical malpractice. They're dying because they're not getting the life-changing surgeries they need to have because of the fact that they're keeping all these hospitals clear and they've changed all of their procedures within the hospitals because of COVID. That's why people are dying. The reason people are dying in nursing homes is because they've completely altered everything they do in nursing homes. They can't have visitors. They keep when a person is believed to be sick with COVID, they leave them alone and they leave them on their own. They leave them scared and alone in a nursing home and family members can't even see them. And God knows how else they're treated. This isn't just because of a virus. This is because of every single procedure that they've put in place in order to deal with the virus. Not once. Where are they speaking about people that are dying of suicide? Where is all the compassion for all the people that are taking their lives at the moment? Don't speak about the 1,000 deaths, will you, Dan Andrews? Right? But you've got the nerve to speak about people dying in nursing homes, 70, 80, 90 years old. And they all had comorbidities already. Everything these people are doing at the moment is evil and satanic beyond belief. And each and every single one of these people deserve to be locked away for the rest of their lives. So I'm begging you. I'm asking you to have a moment of common sense. I'm asking you to have a moment of clarity. I'm asking you to speak to your internal and say to yourself, though I believe what I can hear, do I believe it? Do I feel there's something wrong in here? And if the answer's right in here, if your gut's telling you something's wrong, then that's the indication. So why am I asking this? Because there's going to be an invitation soon. When the invitation comes out and you hear about it, you make sure it's the most important engagement of your life. Because it more than likely will be. All the best. I hope this gets through to a lot of people because we're running out of time. Goodbye.